How we doing? Good. So I think it's fairly obvious that there's a lot of things that we need to work on, evaluate personnel, evaluate consistency and performance, evaluate priority of getting your job done the right way, so that we can have a little more consistency in our performance. We didn't take advantage of opportunities when we had them, in the last game. And that's certainly something that's going to catch up with you. Players have to understand you got to do things to keep from losing before you can think about winning, which is, turning the ball over, making mental errors, not reading things correctly so that we can execute plays the way they're designed. And that's something that we, as a whole, as an organization, I need to do a better job of working together with the players and the coaches so that we can do a better job of getting that right. We're going to play a really good Tennessee team. This game means a lot to a lot of people in Alabama. It's kind of a rivalry game, and it's always been an important game for us. Tennessee's got an outstanding team. They're undefeated. Josh has done a really, really good job there. Probably one of the most explosive offenses, if not the most explosive offense, in the country. They've got really good wide receivers. 4 guys have lots of production. They've got 2 really good running backs, lots of production. The quarterback, Hooker is, really done a nice job of executing their offense. He's one of the leading pass efficiency guys in the country, as well as has ability to extend plays and make plays with his feet. He's a very good athlete all the way around, and has had an outstanding year. Their defense is, one of the top defensive teams, especially in terms of creating negative plays and making people difficult for them to score. 17 points a game is, really good and one of the tops in the SEC. And they're always really solid with their specialists and on special teams. So this is a really, really good team, a real challenge for us. And our priority has to be, we got to get it right ourselves. And, so that we do a better job of putting ourselves in positions of having a chance to be successful. And when we do that, we got to take advantage of it.
How has J.C. Latham been playing at right tackle here lately? And how would you evaluate the offensive tackle play as a whole to date?
I think JC has done a good job all year. He's a passionate guy, tries to play physical, and he's made nice improvement throughout the year. I don't think as an offensive line as a whole, this was one of our best games. I think A&M has a really good front, and we need to do a better job overall up front to be more consistent. We make yards rushing, but how many positive plays versus negative plays? And a negative play to me means you don't gain 3 yards or more. So that consistency, we need to continue to work on.
What's the latest on Bryce Young's status?
Bryce is getting reevaluated today. I don't really know much. I hadn't talked to Doc, since he did that. Hopefully we're going to try to get him ready to play this week, but this is something that, nobody can predict, how quickly this is going to give him an opportunity to be able to go out and do what he needs to do. And, we'll see as the week progresses, but I don't have an update much more than that.
After watching the film, just how effective did you think that package with Will and Dallas and Chris Braswell in the field together was at getting pressure on the quarterback?
I thought we did a good job of getting pressure on the quarterback. I know we had 3 sacks, but we had, probably, 10 or 12 other pressures on the quarterback. So it worked well for us. It was effective.
Talked about their defense that Tennessee has. What about their run defense specifically stands out to you for them?
Well, they're physical up front. They play hard. They're aggressive in terms of their style of, bringing people create negative plays. They tackle well, they play hard, they play well together. So they have a good understanding of, what they're trying to get done on each call. So they're a good front seven.
What could the wide receivers do to make Jalen or Bryce's job a little easier in keeping the passing game consistent?
Well, I don't know that no one's standing here blaming the receivers for anything. I think we all need to self-assess, and the only way you learn is when you make a mistake, you listen, you learn, you improve, you don't make the same mistake again. And we need to play better at all positions on offense relative to what we did in the last game. And I think most of the players would probably tell you the same. So I can't really say that the receivers didn't do what they were supposed to do. Could they do it better? Absolutely. Could we get better play at every position, whether it's quarterback, wide receiver, whatever? Absolutely. So that's what we're trying to focus on so that we can have more consistency running the ball and passing the ball.
Coach, you talked about turnovers a little bit in your opening statement, and obviously you've still won all your games this year, but how challenging is it to win games when you have a negative turnover margin? And how much is that something you want the offense and defense to improve on in this last half of the season?
Well, we've been emphasizing it like crazy, and this is the first time in a long time we've had a negative turnover ratio at this point in the season. We don't get enough turnovers on defense, and we've given the ball up more than we have historically, and both of those things need to improve because it is very, very challenging. I've said many times before, one of the most compelling stats relative to winning and losing is turnover margin. And every week we show the players, okay, if you're +1, you're +2, you're +3, all over the country, what was the record? If you're -1, -2, -3, all over the country, what was the record? And it's pretty compelling. So, it's one of and the players understand that, and they understand the value of turning the ball over relative to the other team, what the average turnover in a season allows you to score. And when you get a turnover, what that benefits you in scoring. So these are very important factors that have been emphasized, and we just need to do a better job.
Hey, Coach, you're about midway through the season. Just overall, how do you feel about your team at this point in the year?
Look, I believe in our team, but I believe in our team when our team does the things that they need to do to have a priority of doing their job. Because, everybody looks at people's flaws, and those things get exposed if you don't do things correctly. And I think the big thing that we need to do is make sure that we're doing things correctly, collectively as a group on a more consistent basis. When we do that, I think we have a very good team. When we haven't done that, we're pretty average. So it's kind of everybody's choice to try to get it right. And it's our responsibility as coaches to help them get it right.
Number 11, Jalen Hyatt for Tennessee. He's top 5 in the SEC in both receptions and reception touchdowns. Just what do you see from him on film? And what do you plan from him going forward?
Well, he's an outstanding player. He's got really good speed. Their offense spreads people out, and they take great advantage of spreading the ball around to all their skilled players. He in particular has made a lot of big plays, which they take a lot of shots, and they've converted a lot of shots. And one of the, keys to the game is not giving up big plays. And that'll be really important for us if we're going to be successful against them on defense. And we're going to not only have to guard him, but about 3 or 4 other guys that are pretty good receivers as well.
Coach, you talked about his growth before, but was there ever a moment in practice where you felt like, okay, Deontay Lawson's kind of got a handle on this now?
Yeah, he's been, we've been playing him all year long. I thought he played fairly well in the game this past week. And we got a lot of confidence in him. You know, he's a good competitor. He's serious about what he does. He's smart. He understands what he's supposed to do. He can run. He's a good athlete. So pleased with his progress, and thought he played, you know, fairly good game for the, especially being, you know, his first start when he had to go out there and play the whole game. So did a really good job.
You mentioned after the game that you wanted to go back and look at Jalen Melrose passing. Just what did you see that he did well, and what did you see that maybe he needs to improve on?
Well, I just think Jaden played with a lot of anxiety, and I don't think, you know, he allowed himself to let his training sort of guide him, and trust and believe in it, so that, you know, he could have success in executing plays. And you know, you can't turn the ball over and not execute plays like they're designed relative to the read of what you should and shouldn't do. So those things are all things that we need to definitely improve on, so that we can utilize all 11 players on our offensive team. We got skilled guys that can make plays. We got to, you know, distribute the ball at the quarterback position so they can. And whether it's a run or a pass or an RPO or an advantage throw, you got to make the right choices and decisions on those things. And I think we definitely need to improve in all those areas. Thank you.